India and China, two of the world's oldest civilizations. We have a long and complex history and common heritage. We have influenced each other culturally and religiously. One of the most interesting quotes about the relationship is from Hu Shi, a Chinese academic, politician and writer. He said, and I quote, "India conquered and dominated China culturally for 20 centuries without ever having to send a single soldier across her border." Unquote. Coming to the Brahmaputra River, India is lower riparian, and there is talk these days in Pakistan that if India persists with the decision to withhold water or at least put the Indus Water Treaty on hold, then it could persuade its fast friend China to do the same with the Brahmaputra River. What if China stops the Brahmaputra's waters to India? This is Quick Take, your quick guide. I'm Smita Prakash. Who controls what? Let's get to the facts about the Brahmaputra River itself. The Brahmaputra originates near Mount Kailash in Tibet and flows through China, India and Bangladesh before joining the Ganga in the Bay of Bengal. China contributes only about 15 to 30% of the Brahmaputra's total flow, mainly from the glacial melt and limited Tibetan rainfall. The remaining 70% of the Brahmaputra's waters is generated within India, thanks to the torrential monsoon rains in Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Nagaland and Meghalaya. The same was shared on X by Assam's Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma. The real powerhouse is India. What do the numbers say? At the India-China border near a place called Tuting, the Brahmaputra River flows with about 2,000 to 3,000 cubic meters of water every second. But once it enters Assam, especially near Guwahati, the flow becomes much bigger, around 15,000 to 20,000 cubic meters per second during the rainy season. This shows that India doesn't rely heavily on the waters coming from China. In fact, the river becomes much stronger inside India because of the heavy rainfall and the many smaller rivers that join it. So it's a rain-fed river system that grows stronger as it flows through Indian territory. Could China realistically stop the river? The answer is no. Even if China did try to reduce water flow, which it has never officially threatened or indicated, it would only affect less than 30% of the river's water. The rest, 70%, comes from India's own land and rainfall. Plus, blocking or drastically reducing water would not only affect India but also Bangladesh downstream, something that China is unlikely to risk given the current bonhomie between Xi and Yunus. While there is no comprehensive water sharing treaty between Bangladesh and China or India and China, there are memorandums of understanding for sharing hydrological data during monsoons. But China has not been sharing critical hydrological data with India since 2022, when relations took a downturn between India and China. China's mega dam plan. China has approved the construction of the world's biggest hydropower dam on the Brahmaputra River in Tibet, right near the Indian border. The hydropower dam will be built on the Yarlung Tsangpo River, which becomes the Brahmaputra River when it flows into Arunachal Pradesh. Because this dam will be built on the fragile Tibetan plateau, an area that's already environmentally sensitive. Such a huge project could affect the flow of water downstream, which means it could impact millions of people in India and Bangladesh. India has officially protested and is keeping a close watch. Facts over fear. Pakistan's propaganda war about China stopping Brahmaputra's water is going to gain ground in the coming weeks, though it hasn't found many takers in Chinese media as yet. Fear-mongering is what Pakistan is good at. China has no logical reason or history of using water as a weapon against India. China and India are civilizational countries that have achieved extraordinary growth in the past decade. Would China risk a water war with India for Pakistan? Doesn't seem likely. The Brahmaputra is a river of India's resilience, geography and monsoon power, not a river controlled by anyone else.